Hello friends! In this video you'll see how the actors of the movies Rocky in 1976 and Rocky II in 1979 changed. I will tell you about the characters of the film, and also you'll see what's now with the cast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Paulie has kindred to Adrian and gets along well with Rocky. He works in a butcher's shop, which is why he started to develop problems with his joints. Likes to spend time at the Lucky 7 diner and is often seen in a bad mood. He was played by Burt Young. Mike, Jimmy Gambino. He works at Mighty Mick's Boxing and performs various duties including keeping the club clean. He is diligent, tries to be as useful as possible, and doesn't dare to argue with his superiors. Usually wears a cap with a red badge pinned to it. Adrian sells pet supplies at a local store that Rocky lives near. She's distinguished by shyness, has a quiet voice, and does what her boss instructs her to do. Adrian has short hair and wears glasses. Likes to skate. The role is performed by Talia Shire. Apollo, Carl Weathers, is a boxer who has earned the heavyweight title, has a somewhat self-confident nature, and declares before which round he will defeat his opponent. He likes to put on a show before the start of the fight, and he cares about how he looks. Mickey is engaged in coaching and is the owner of the boxing club where Rocky was involved. He is strict, used to saying what he thinks, and quite harsh in his statements. He was played by Burgess Meredith, who died in 1997 of melanoma and Alzheimer's. Jurgens, working in the field of boxing, providing the services of a promoter. He always looks presentable and walks exclusively in suits, sometimes pinning a red flower to his jacket. He was played by Thayer David, who died of a heart attack in 1978. Fight announcer has spent his entire life reviewing fights. He's quite polite and always maintains the utmost attentiveness during boxing matches. He knows how to notice any detail regarding the behavior and habits of boxers. The role is played by Bill Baldwin. Gazzo, Joe Spinell, was mainly engaged in the fact that he lent money and sometimes gave a hard lesson to those who did not return it in time. He has a selfish nature, and reputation is above all for him, but he can also show concern, has a small mustache. Mary, Jodie Letizia, is a teenager who behaves quite defiantly and can even send unacquainted. Often spends time with dubious companies where she became addicted to cigarettes. Has a little extra weight and light wavy hair, which she often ties into two ponytails. Cutman, Al Salvany, was part of the team under the guidance of Coach Mickey and helped Rocky in every possible way during the fight with Creed. He is not lost in front of the crowd and is quite a self-confident person. Wears a red jacket over a white t-shirt. Club fighter Pedro Lowell is a professional boxer. He fights mainly in minor fights for the entertainment of the public and for a small share of the win, but sometimes he receives his percentage without even winning, performs mostly in burgundy shorts. Dipper Stan Shaw decided to devote himself to boxing and regularly attended a boxing club. According to Mickey, he is a promising fighter who is on the rise. Likes to hang pictures of girls on the door of his locker, and time after time he could go drugging. Bartender Don Sherman works at the Lucky 7 diner where Rocky and Paulie frequent. Likes to watch TV while working, especially sports news and boxing matches. He believed that Apollo was a real fighter, unlike their local boxers, whom he called clowns. Apollo's trainer began to train boxers after the end of his professional career, namely after losing a duel with Creed. He has vast experience, knows how to properly motivate fighters, and gives good advice in the course of the fight, played by Tony Burton. himself is a professional league boxer who left a significant mark on boxing history and was a favorite of the public. He attended in the fight the American Bicentennial bout as a guest of honor, played by Joe Frazier, who died of a liver tumor in 2011. Director John Plesher supervised the filming of an advertising project in which Rocky participated. He is an assertive and somewhat unrestrained person who values his time, and it's important for him not to get out of the schedule. Wears a small mustache. Meat Foreman works in the field of boxing, in particular to Creed. He helps his boss in the moments of preparation for battle, as well as take part in important discussions regarding them. Played by Frank Mccrane, who died of a heart attack in 2021. Announcer was invited to be the commentator for the rematch between Balboa and Creed and was the commentator for their first match. He's attentive to details and shows the utmost tact, played by Stu Nan, who passed away in 2007 from lymphoma. Salesman sells houses and apartments and shows potential buyers the properties that are suitable for them based on their wishes. He's accustomed to politely treat customers, is patient and calmly answers questions, presentably dresses, played by Jerry Zismer. Lawyer may disagree with his client, always warning of the possible consequences, but in the end only taking which the actions approved by his boss. He has good manners, looks after his appearance, and most often dresses in suits. He was played by Torren Black. Emergency room aide works at the hospital where was admitted after fight Rocky. His duties include following orders from doctors, and he also helps patients who cannot move independently. At work, he wears only a medical uniform. He was played by Granger Hines. White Hunter is often filmed for advertising various products as a model. She has pretty features and has an excellent slender figure. Knows how to keep the face in the frame and clearly follow the instructions given to her. The role was played by Ava Lazar. Young patient Paul Mccrane was in the same hospital with Rocky, where he ended up with multiple fractures and a head injury. He could not move around the hospital without assistance and a wheelchair. Was delighted with Balboa and asked him to sign on his head. Dr. Cooper, Britannia Alde, works in the hospital's maternity ward, and it was she who hostage-delivered birth to Rocky's wife. She knows how to calmly and openly talk about the patient's condition to their relatives. Always wears her hair pinned up at work. Reporter Brent Musburger works for a local TV channel and usually focuses on sports news. In particular, he can announce important moments on boxing and also not infrequently interviews boxers himself. He has good diction and feels confident in the frame. Adrian's nurse works in the maternity ward and cares for her patients when needed. She is attentive to her duties and is a rather affable woman, but can be strict, accustomed to strictly follow the established rules. The role is performed by Fran Ryan. Reporter Sonny Melendres works in the sports news industry and was one of the attendees at the Apollo and Rocky press conference. Differs in confidence, and also he has an observant nature. Always has a notepad for important notes. Has buffoned hair. Rocky is an aspiring fighter who is looking how to break into the pro league and make enough money. He is distinguished by assertiveness, good nature, and tries not to harm people outside the walls of the boxing club. Has turtle pets, played by Sylvester Stallone. Referee worked at the time of the fight between Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed. He greets boxers equally polite courtesy, carefully enforces the rules in the ring, and reacts quickly. He was played by Lou Filippo, who died in 2009 as a result of a stroke. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.